Hi, everyone. My name is Dalia El-Ghazar. I will be your, for titles, because everybody's into titles, a branding therapist. Would that work? Just for now. All right. And welcome to Coverings 2021. Are you guys excited that you're here? Does this? Yes. You have to be a little bit more excited. Yes. All right. Well, what an amazing, amazing hall, first and foremost. Amazing audience. That's first and foremost, actually. So I am here to talk to you about branding. How many people take their branding seriously? Like very seriously, higher up. How many people are on social media platforms? LinkedIn, Twitter, Insta, TikTok? Okay. So we're going to talk about branding, and there's a couple of disclaimers that I'd like to share with you. First, this deck, we're actually being live streamed, so the more noise and the more love you show me, then it's going to spread. Oh, yes. Nice. Second is this deck is yours. So if you want a copy of it, we will put it in the app. We'll send it to you. Smoke signals, whatever you need, you'll get it. Third is we have a couple of tables on the far side next to the amazing mosaics that's on the walls where we do one-on-ones. So Soraya and I are there. So anything you need when it comes to branding, if you're thinking of redoing your LinkedIn, your website, or you just need help, we're going to be there for you until the end of the event, okay? So I'm going to do this really, really, really rapid presentation. I speak very, very quickly, but I do. Thanks, Soraya. Say hi to everybody. Okay. And then I am going to bring rock stars on stage where we're going to have a little fun. Yes, thank you. You're just here for the code for this one, aren't you? Yeah. We have two amazing rock stars. So we have Dave and Janice. They're going to come on. Say hi. All right. So we're ready? Let's go. I hope this works. So when we talk about branding, first and foremost, I'm a huge believer in a flight plan. And when I say flight plan, this is where I say look at your career as a flight plan. You want to take a look at where your destination city is. Your origin city is where you're at this point. Destinations like point A to point B. And when you look at your career and look at where you want to be, also look at how long it's going to take you to get there. So some people, you might have a plan that will take you 6 months, a year, 5 years, but it's part of the plan. You probably have been involved in doing plans for your organization, for your work, for products. Now you have to do it for your own branding. It's part of a strategy. Then you also want to take a look on who's on the flight with you. So who's your crew? Who's your co-pilot? You are the pilot of your career. And this is very important when you're putting your branding plan together. It's something that you revisit. You're going to take detours. There's going to be turbulence. It's all of that. But your crew is there as your cockpit crew. They have your back. And they actually become your brand ambassadors. So whoever you put on the VIP list, whoever you put in first class, those are the guys that are and girls that are going to be there for your brand going forward. So I'm a huge believer in law of attraction. Anybody with me on that? And abundance and all of that good stuff. Some people are like, oh, well, I saw someone roll their eyes at me, but that's okay. That's all right. So I want you to put together a mission statement. It's actually, this is what your mantra is going to be. So when you're putting your branding together, you also want to put a statement out there, meaning state your name, and anything you write actually manifests faster than when you just think it, all right? So just bear with me on this one. So that you also put a date in your mission statement. So same as when you look at your destination city, look at how much time it's going to take you. So by this date, December 31st, 2021, 2025, that you want to establish yourself in a specific brand. When you have a brand, you also have like key topics or points that you're known for, areas of expertise. You can't be everything to everybody. So pick like 1, 3, or 5, and you put that in your statement. That's going to be part of your branding. And then you put success metrics. What's success to you? Is it money? Is it your tribe? Is it that you actually established yourself for a certain point of like expertise within the industry? The hardest thing is when people are asked to write about themselves. How many people have a hard time explaining themselves or writing about themselves, especially on LinkedIn, right? So what you want to do is, part of the whole exercise of branding is you want to see what your areas of expertise is, what you bring to the table, and ask like 5 people that you know, what they see you, what you bring to the table, how they perceive you as a professional. And you're going to be shocked that actually you know what you are all about. So this is part of the exercise. This is all exercises. If you thought you didn't have any assignments or homework, no. If you all really thought you were coming here for just the code, no. You got work to do. So the other part is, especially if you're looking for like a new position, a new job, this is where I say you flip the script. Everybody's looking at like job descriptions on Indeed, on Monster, on LinkedIn, for example. Flip it in the sense of you want to write your dream job. After the global pause that we went through, after the 18 months that we went through, there is now this whole thing of like, I know what I want. I don't want to be burnt out. I want to have a certain way of life when it comes to work, when it comes to personal. So this is where you get to ultimately write your dream job. And it's actually working for a lot of companies. So it can definitely work for you. There are a couple of warnings. There's a couple of points that I want to just like put out there because I think everybody goes through them. And I don't know if there's going to be alcohol involved after this, but you're all going to be friends later at the bar or something. So if you go through any of this, if you can raise your hand, that would be wonderful. Analysis paralysis. This is where you overthink to the point of you do not take action. Anybody go through that? Cool. It's not cool, but you're not alone. So I didn't mean it by cool. Okay. So imposter syndrome. I go through imposter syndrome all the time. Do I know my stuff? Am I allowed to like help others? Is someone going to call me out on it, right? So denial. Anybody going through denial? Like, I have to stay where I'm at because I get a paycheck. I can't go anywhere else. I can't go like up the ladder, for example. So the other 3 is procrastination. I sometimes think I'm the queen of procrastination, but sometimes procrastination is great because you think things through. So there's a silver lining there. Blame displacement, so you blame others instead of yourselves for not taking action, for not taking that extra step, and the fear of success. Anybody have a fear of success? Yes? So how do you deal with it? You're not, so you're in denial. Yep. So he's in between how to run the business and how to actually execute as well. So these are warning signs, but these have to be addressed in order for you to move forward, to go to your destination city, as your flight plan should tell you. So there's other obstacles in the career, but this is where you take it a step further and turn this into like an assignment of some kind, where you are able to put areas together where you need the most help, and actually even addressing the warning signs that you see. So has anybody ever done a SWOT analysis on themselves? Do you know what a SWOT analysis is? So this is where you lay out what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, where your areas of opportunities are, and where your threats are. And usually people do this for a business, but you have to start thinking of your brand as a business and move it forward. So this is also going to be available for you. It gives you a couple of tips on how to do a SWOT analysis. The other part of the analysis bit is who do you want to serve and what's your why? A lot of people want to be everything to everybody, and you can't really do that. You want to be niche. You want to be exact on who your clients are, where you fit within the whole industry. You can't just be like spread too thin, and I think that might be the problem with you trying to run the business and trying to do everything at the same time, right? So you want to be exact on who you are serving and the why of your brand. There's also the other thing about core values. And people gravitate to others that have the same core values that they have. So like if you think of it, you do the best business or you have the best relationships on a professional level with people that have the same core values that you do. And so there's a list in here. I'm not going to go through it, but there is a list in here that you can take a look at and sort of check off what are your branding core values. All right, so I'm going to get into LinkedIn in a minute, but LinkedIn has been known as being like a virtual business card, and it really isn't. It's actually starting to be a storyboard. And it seems like everybody here are visual people. Have you guys seen the mosaics on that passoire? It's kind of amazing. So everybody's work could be a mosaic wall, especially on LinkedIn or on social media. It becomes part of your storyboard. But I will say this, any social media platform that you are on, especially LinkedIn because it is the most professional out there, TikTok not so much. My kids won't let me be on TikTok. It's embarrassing for them. So, but on LinkedIn, this is the start of your storyboard. And I just want to briefly go through some aspects of LinkedIn that will help you with your branding. First and foremost is the visual part, like your headshot, like the area on top that you can use for your branding, either professionally or for your company. And then the tagline. So the tagline, you have about 240 characters where you talk about your why. You talk about the people you serve and what you bring to the table. And that changes all the time. This is not about you saying account manager. That doesn't say anything. It's not about saying sales director. It's really about what your brand is about and why you do what you do. And then the about section, this is where I say people like get mixed up and they can't write about themselves. This is where you take your like 5 points of credibility, if you will, and you turn that into your storyboard in the about section. So instead of talking about like the products, talk about how you bring like beauty to life, or someone who's like envisioned a project, didn't know how to do it, and you brought it to life for them in your LinkedIn. And you can also put in pictures in there. I just actually helped someone do that. But in your LinkedIn, think of this across your social media platforms or your branding platforms. I call this a cheat sheet. On the top, when you're in editing mode in LinkedIn, it says add profile section. There's all these sections that you can take advantage of. If you've done projects, if you've worked on portfolios with other people that you can tag, if you've done volunteer work, all of this you can put in your LinkedIn profile and it becomes your media portfolio. So even if you don't have a website, or even if you're like part of a company, LinkedIn can become your portfolio. And if you need help with your LinkedIn or any of your social media platforms or even website, we're going to be there until the 9th, until the end of the show for you. So real quick, skills. This is where you take a look at like the real skills and the areas of expertise that you want to have people, like when they're searching, they should know they can go to Dahlia for branding, for example, or for LinkedIn help. And so you have to think of it for yourself, professionally, what your top skills are, and just pick 10 of them and put them up on LinkedIn. There's ways of reordering it as well, and pinning the ones that are like the top that you want people to see first. And I don't think the clicker likes me. Whoops. Areas of expertise. So this is where you put your positions, especially if you've moved from one company to another. So there's also ways where you can put your media or like images of what you've worked on within the companies that you've worked on. So a lot of your branding is going to be based on you listening. When you're on social media, people listen to what you put out as content, what you put out in your posts, what you share as images. So you have to think of it as like, what are they gravitating to you for? Is it your areas of expertise? Is it your images? Is it the before and after pictures that you use? You took like a wall that had nothing on it and you made it amazing. So these are the stories that people gravitate to you about, gravitate to your brand, to your company. And then you engage on it. Your brand has to engage with others that are going to celebrate you. They are going to lift you up. They are going to promote you when you don't even know it. So this comes through cross-promotion, collaboration of conversations, for example, commenting on other people's feeds. And you all of this turns into what I call a digital footprint. If you go and just do a Google search on your name, you're going to find a lot of results. In the top 3, LinkedIn will be in the top 3. So this is why I always say, you have to take a look at your profile, make sure that it is like 100% done, even if you don't use it. But it's a shame if you don't use LinkedIn for partnerships, for potential clients, for celebrating what you do. But your digital footprint also exists on websites, social media, blogs, guest articles, guest posts, for example. And the other thing is, take a look of what type of content you're using that resonates the most. Is it imagery? Is it post that explains a project that you did? Is it a post that you used that you tagged someone in, for example? How are you trying to do this engagement? Are you asking questions? Are you opening it up for debate? Are you having a poll, for example? And you can do this across all different social platforms. If you do take LinkedIn seriously, there is something called the Social Selling Index, which actually ranks you against other people that are in your position with your expertise, and gives you a ranking. So like within your industry, it will also give you ways of how to do better, how to engage better, how to connect better with others, how to share posts and content, for example. And there's other tips in here. Has anybody gotten any requests from like just an egg? There's no image, nothing, and someone that's trying to connect with you and you don't see anything there. It's actually a very basic mistake that people do, where if you try to connect with someone, in your settings, you have to make sure that your photo is seen by everyone on LinkedIn, not only by first connections. And that's why people, if you're trying to connect to someone and you send out a connection and you don't have that, checked off, for example, they might not connect with you at all. What else is in here? The clicker doesn't like me. All right. So here are a couple of tools, because when it comes to content, people always say, I have nothing to share. I don't know anything. I've shared my Starbucks with my name written incorrectly on it so many times. That's not the case. This is really a great tool, which is called Feedly, feedly.com. It's actually free. And what it does is you put in there topics that you like, or that you want to be known for. So like tiling, for example. It will aggregate all those articles for you. Then you're able to share that, discuss it, engage on it. And you can do that across all social media platforms. Canva, anybody use Canva for work? Anybody love Canva more than me? Doubt it. You probably do. You do. Okay, so Canva is a haven for designers that are not designers. So I've been told never to come back, never do Photoshop or Adobe. And basically what it does is it gives you all these templates that you can use for imagery, for business, for presentations. It has all the dimensions in here. The reason why I have it in here, because a lot of times people will say, I can't put anything out. I don't know how to design. Oh, I have to wait for a designer. No, you don't. You go to Canva, you upload your images, even of the projects that you've worked on, and it can create magical tiles for you. So the other thing is, this is brand new, but it's called TidyTag. And if you're thinking of using LinkedIn 100%, the best thing about this is when you are on browser with TidyTag, you can actually put tags on people. So like you can look at profiles, you can have tags on clients so that you can put a directory together of clients versus prospects versus thought leaders within your industry, for example. So you can do that with TidyTag. It's an extension. It goes on Chrome, on the browser that you're using, and then you'll be able to see it through LinkedIn. So a couple of things about branding. This is just my opinion, but also things that I feel that people sometimes suffer through, especially with their brand, especially if they're starting out new, for example. There's an amazing book called Jackass Whisperer. So Jackass Whisperer basically is but with Scott Stratton. And what it does is it sort of helps you navigate with the people that are jackasses. Either it tells you how to communicate with them, and we're living in a world right now where communicating with remote teams and then going back, on office, all of this, you have all these different characters that you're dealing with. Nobody should navigate your brand from the destination that you want it to go in. And the reason why I have this in here, because it gives you examples of how you negate the people that are trying to put your brand down. So this is one of them. The other thing that I want to give as just as a mention is, if you are really taking your branding seriously, think of being either a mentor or finding a mentor that can help you out, especially within the industry. And I think that would help. Anything that you do with your branding, whether on social media, the content you create, a mentorship, for example, you're building your megaphone. You're building your branding megaphone, and you have to think of it that way. So these are my QR codes, because QR code is a thing. And so if you bring out your phone right now and open your camera, and I would love for you can actually start out with the right side. So that's my LinkedIn QR code there. Just hover it over the QR code. There's a screen behind you as well if you want to use that. It will automatically open it up in LinkedIn, and you will connect with me if you want to continue this conversation. Cool? So you have one QR code with LinkedIn, the middle one is Instagram, and then the far left is Twitter. And we're good? So what we're going to do is we are going to invite up Janice and Dave. They're past coverings rock stars, and they're going to talk about their branding. Come on over. Yes. We're going to ask you all the hard questions.
Okay, bring it on.
I just brought the easy stuff on, so.
Is it on?
Check one. There we go.
Check.
Checkity check.
All right, before we start, Janice, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. My name is Janice Hill, and I work for D.W. Sanders Tile and Stone Contracting in Atlanta, Georgia. We are a 5-star contractor.
Nice.
I'm David Benson with Architessa, a tile and stone distribution company out of Maryland, D.C., and Virginia.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us. So a little branding story. Tell us about a branding story that you went through, or whether it's a success, celebration, or like a challenge, for example. Everybody loves challenges.
I would have to say, when I did win the Rockstar Award last year, I put that in my signature of my email address. And I didn't think anything of it until people started reaching out to me and saying congratulations, and then they were asking me more questions. And I loved the questions, but it kind of caught me off guard because I just wasn't expecting that. So it was cool because I was able to introduce myself and introduce our company and introduce the NTCA and what all the Rockstar Award entails. So it was a little challenging because I don't like to be caught off guard at all, but at the same time, it was rewarding because I was able to talk more about the NTCA and our company as a whole.
Perfect. Dave, what about you?
Yeah, I would say I have a company experience. We went through a whole branding change just recently. Our prior company was Architectural Ceramics for 35 years. And so we recently changed to Architessa. It was very difficult. We went through basically 2.5 years of, we're a family business. So younger generation, myself, and the older generation fighting back and forth. Hey, what's the name going to be? What does this look like after we change the name? How long do you, before you switch things over? So we're still in the process of that. But I think the most important thing, like some of the things you talked about, is just get the word out there and market it as much as possible. Positive news, from a client side is that we have not had any, disgruntling, clients say like, hey, you shouldn't have never changed your name. So at least that's positive so far.
Is anybody going through a rebranding right now? Yes?
Thank you. I've personally thought of it, but it's too scary of an idea for me. I've stayed locked in from my original decision, but I am open to ideas of doing it. But so I'm in the thought process of it. I've almost made that jump a couple times, and then just me and my wife talked, just decide against it. So I sit in the same place, but it's been working. It's been doing well, but I think there's an opportunity to grow if I maybe were to step out. So.
Yeah, I think just a little bit about that. One of the things that we were looking at when rebranding was just the mindset of our company name said X. So like our name was Architectural Ceramics. So it was very limiting. And in today's environment where, even here you see a lot of different types of products, you want to have a name that sort of opens that up and is clean and fresh. So at least that's what we studied when we were looking at it.
When you did your rebranding, did you take a look at your clientele, like what they're looking for to find what your uniqueness is compared to others?
Yeah, so one of the things that's unique about us is, mostly women buy tile at the end of the day. And so having Architessa has, Tessa pulling from the word Contessa, which is more like a female royalty in the, either I think it's Italy where Contessa is derived from, but having more of that feminine name, we thought that would be cool and intriguing to a lot of women that are looking to buy tile.
Cool. Janice, tell us, how do you use social media for your brand?
So we just recently got into using social media more. We don't necessarily use it for our brand. We use it to show off what our men do out in the field. We use it to be able to celebrate them, not necessarily for our brand, but just to show that we know that we are the best of the best in Atlanta and that the reason you're hiring us is because you're going to get this work. So when we use social media, we use it to show like, hey, this is the process while we're installing, and then you get this beautiful artwork at the end of it.
So you're creating like a gallery or portfolio, but from the field.
Essentially, yes.
Okay, cool. Anybody using social media in a really cool way for their branding? Oh, come on. Okay, here we go. I'm going to say you're all ready for drinks and you're going to like... It is that time.
On our page, AZ_contracting on Instagram, I like showing a lot of aspects of what we're doing from the beginning of the project to the end. But more specifically, what I tried to do was to show the actual client, prospective clients, future clients, exactly what they're paying for. Because we always get that question, like, wow, why is the master bathroom renovation going to cost that much? And breaking everything down to them, they don't understand, like because first of all, we're going to waterproof, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, X, Y, Z. They don't understand that. So when I tell them simply, go to the page, I'm basically showing you from demolition, build, completion, some funny antics here and there, show our personality every now and then, and they get to enjoy it, and they actually respond very positively to the point that I've even gone as far as asking a lot of our clients, if you like what we do, give me a review. And I don't mean the ones we can fake where, hey, Joe Schmo is the best. I can get on, make up fake names and review the heck out of myself. And, no, but my clients now are sending us video testimonials. Short, 15, 30-second. I can't fake that. These are not paid actors. These are people who are actually standing in front of their kitchens, in front of their bathrooms, because we do everything. Hence the name AZ. We do it all from A to Z. So it's like, I took it to that level just to get those reviews. And it's been working. It actually took our business from one to another level. So it's been helping.
So video is, I'm going to say king. They say king. I say queen. Based on the Tessa Contessa, right? So there is this awesome platform called Video Ask, and it is super easy to use. It's used for sales and marketing on websites, but it's also to collect the testimonials, and it also has call to actions that you can build in. So if anybody has like inquiries or whatever, it's called Video Ask, and it's really super simple to put it on your website or just to use with your clients, like you're saying. I do think people love to see testimonials not written, but to see people's faces. And this goes back to whether it's your business or whether it's you as a professional. So you always want to gather those testimonials, on how is it to work with you, for example. So I just want to make that differentiation. So I have a question for you. In regards to the rebranding, but more so like on the marketing, how do you bring everybody to like, almost like, no pun intended, singing the same song? The whole branding, like mission, for example. It's tough.
It's extremely tough.
Yes.
And so we have 75 employees. So you can imagine, just communicating that same message. So for about the first month and a half of, hey, the new name is this to the client, they're like, how do we tell this story again? What is the story of Contessa or ARC, in the beginning of the name? So just reiterating the same message over and over again once you've solidified it. The name is one thing, but having a mission statement that goes behind it and the story behind the whole rebrand, and then constantly communicating it by emails, social media. We have the Instagram platform and now TikTok. I don't know if you mentioned TikTok, but most successful for us in our industry is just the design industry itself, as we're getting specifications, and a lot of those people are on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn's been very successful as well.
How many people use LinkedIn primarily for business? Very cool. So in regards to having everybody on the same branding page, it takes a lot of onboarding and the format of the content, but it has to be spot on. I also believe that when it comes to teams, the only way to really do it is to show them how to do it. So people are hesitant to become the megaphone of your brand if they don't know how to use TikTok or if they don't know how to use Instagram, right? So they get stumbled on that.
So it's actually, Delia, one of the things we did, we had a corporate meeting, and so we took an hour out of our corporate meeting back in January, and we literally filmed each other.
Nice.
So everybody took out their cell phones. We said, do a 30-second intro and take the message that we just told you and put your own words into it, but make it the same message. And then we reviewed those as a team to the whole company. So, it was good to role play in that way. And role playing is excellent across sales and marketing. So
Yeah.
highly suggest that.
Perfect. Well, everybody here are content creators. So you all have phones. Are you ready to bring them out? Because we're going to do something. Oh, come on. Humor me. Yeah, right. Fine. Come on. All right, so if you bring your phones out, you got to stand up. And you're either going to take selfies with Janice and Dave behind you, and then you're going to talk about that you are here, Coverings 2021, and you're discussing branding. I mean, it's been what, 18 months since they let you out of the house? So you're here. So turn it around or take selfies with everybody. Come on. Where's...
Oh yeah, Brittany, do it.
You have to take selfies. Do it. You're creating content. This is branding. Yes. There you go. It's a good thing I didn't ask you to dance the Macarena or something, which I can do. I'm sure you can. Hashtag Coverings 2021. You ready for that? Or do you want the other 5 million ones we have? Don't forget to tag yourself if you are an exhibitor. How many exhibitors? Any exhibitors? Okay, because I was going to say tag your booth number, do that. Tagging is essential.
I was just thinking, I don't know.
Cool? Was that fun? No? Yes. You guys also have to do it?
Yeah, no, I just did a selfie.
All right,
Yeah,
fine.
Yeah, I'll post. So we're Architessa, but I'm also DC Tile Guy on Instagram.
Just to confuse everybody.
Yeah, just to confuse everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Our business handle is DW Sanders Tile on Instagram, and then mine is J Hill Journeys.
Perfect. Any questions for our speakers? Ask them the hard ones, not what the code is for the session. I knew. Yeah, okay, fine.
How important is a logo considering in branding?
I don't necessarily think it's the logo as much for us as being a contractor. I mean, we're more of our statement, which is craftsmanship by the standard, and to us, that's more important than our logo, because that tells a story of who we are as a business, as a company.
But overall, across the scape, all of these guys, all of us, we have T-shirts, we have hats, we've all got our own thing. So how important is it to see that symbol all the time, or know
think,
that guy?
Yeah, I think a logo is pretty important when it comes to, this guy A to Z's got the hat, and I'm not, he's my new baseball team with the baseball hat there. But the logo is extremely important for a supplying company, I would say. Not just a tile installer, I would say somewhat, in my opinion, but I love logos. Ours is, we came up with this little chat boxes. So it's just chat boxes intertwined back and forth, and it sort of looks like a mosaic. So, yeah,
He just wants the hat. Don't fall for that. Don't fall for that. So the most important thing is, yes, logo as a visual, like, identity kind of works, but it's more about the stories, right?
Yeah, because unless you're Starbucks, like now the Starbucks stores are putting just their logo there,
Like
and everybody
Target.
knows it, or Target. But if I put that little chat thing, nobody's going to have any idea what it is. But that's what we're trying
Not
to
yet.
create is the brand.
Good one. Except the people who know. Perfect.
One other question back there.
Yes.
You had another question, you said?
Any questions?
What size you wear? What size you wear?
Large.
And
Large as well.
too large.
Wow. That's branding for you. You're wearing his brand. You see how that goes.
That's great marketing.
All right. Any other questions? Any comments? Any? I feel like I'm at a concert. Right? It's a reverse concert. Yeah, that's branding. That's right. What else? Anybody want to share anything? No? Oh boy. Do you want to share anything, Janice? What about websites? You want to do that real quick? What's the most important thing on websites?
Website. So I actually took a branding course by, I don't know if you've heard of it. Oh, goodness gracious. I forget what it is. Anyway, I took it. Call to actions are the biggest thing on websites. So
Yes.
let's say, for instance, if you have a tile installation company, you would say, need an installer today, or, some sort of call to action, or, For us, we say request a sample. You want a sample right now. Some sort of call to actions, and make it right away and present on the homepage.
Jennifer, what about you?
We are actually thinking about revamping our entire website. Right now, I mean, we have it where our Instagram handle's at the bottom. It shows off what we do, and then it shows off all of our work. And so for us, the most important thing is just showing off all of our past jobs and going through what we do. And then at the bottom, we have where you can reach out to us if you ever have any technical questions or installation questions.
Perfect. So how many people own their own websites or are managing their websites? WordPress, Wix, Squarespace? Okay, so a couple of tips when it comes to websites, especially if you're redoing them. Actually, you should redo them often, not just leave them there, because then Google will find you better, and the content has to be fresh. But a couple of things for websites is don't hide your phone number, all right? One. Second is make sure it's mobile friendly, because a lot of people are going on their mobile to seek information more so than just on browser. So make sure that your phone number or however you want them to funnel through to contact you, that it's on the top of the web of the homepage. Second is there is this amazing plugin called Drift that you can have on your websites. And what Drift does is it creates an FAQ or like a knowledge base. So think of it as an extension of your team, where the common questions that you usually get, instead of it sucking the attention and the time from your team, it's built in. And so people can go in, they can ask questions. If they don't have the answer in the knowledge base, then it turns it over to a live person. But it also feeds your sales and marketing funnels. So you'll be able to track how many people wanted samples, for example, or how many people clicked on one photo of the Instagram because it was of a kitchen project, for example. So try to think of ways where you can use your website not only as an information funnel. It truly is about your stories, your branding. Keep it fresh, but have it be like an extension of your sales and marketing, especially if you have a smaller team.
Can I just say one more thing?
Yes.
Any marketing you do, try to ping TCNA, NTCA, CTDA, and also ytile.com. ytile.com is coming out with a lot of resources about tile and the stone industry and promoting tile in the workplace. So,
perfect. No questions, no comments? Was this good? Yeah? Awesome. Dave and Janice, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Where are the drinks? No drinks?
Yeah, happy hour time, right?
Oh, happy hour time. So it's happy hour time. And, well, okay.